let's transition
to
hoops, to NBA, to the basketball world.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to answer your question. One of the questions you had. I want to save this one. I want to save that for last. There's a question that I really like. The Memphis Grizzlies right now are sitting at the 3 seed. They just beat the Warriors the other night. John Morant is red hot. Now let's look, not at the playoffs this year or how that's all looking. Let's look way into the future. Let's say 10 years down the line, right?
Yeah.
John Morant now has been in the league for 12 years now, if we're going off of that time. How good is John Morant going to be?
Now, I originally thought that John Morant, the way that he played his rookie year, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, he's going to get injured. But yeah, he's had some injuries.
Very Westbrook-type player early on in his career.
Yeah.
Very aggressive to the hoop.
Yeah, he just plays like he's made out of metal and he's not going to get hurt.
Relying on that finishing game, the slasher.
But it's not even just about, okay, he has great leaping ability. You've seen him block a shot with his elbows at the square.
At the square. Yeah,
really? That's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he has playmaking ability, he's fast.
And he's worked his shot.
And he can shoot a little better than he did last year. So, what I got to say to John Morant, he definitely should be an all-star this year.
Oh, yes.
100%,
yes.
Right? That's easy. So, he's going to make the all-star game in 12 years, at least 7 times. I'm going to say that.
I say even more. I'll say almost all those 12 years, barring any injuries.
Now, I think that he should win an MVP, but that will only happen if he gets help.
And I do think this Memphis Grizzlies team is already helping him right now.
Yeah, but I think that this is going to be similar to a Damian Lillard situation.
You really think he won't?
I don't think he's going to be able to get help. Is he going to win a championship ever? No.
You don't think so?
Never. I don't ever think that. But Damian Lillard, he's one of the most talented players in the league. And there's times where he looks like he should be MVP. But his situation, where he lives, the city that he's in, who's going to Memphis?
Yeah.
Are you like, oh yeah, I want to go play in Memphis, Tennessee, man?
I get what you're saying.
That's the only thing I think is going to fault John Morant.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's ever going to leave. I think he's going to stay loyal to his soil, man.
I like that. That's actually a good answer. What I'm going to say is I'm going to one-up you. First of all, I'd be willing to argue right now that John Morant is a top 3-point guard right now in this current moment in the league, the way he's playing.
He's better than Damian Lillard this year. Exactly.
So don't look past what players have done the previous years that make them want to say, well, no, it's still Damian Lillard. That's everything. Right now, in this point of the season, John Morant is a top 3, arguably probably top 2 point guard right now, the way he's playing.
I would say Steph, John Morant, and...
What, Chris Paul?
I guess so.
Right? So, John Morant right now, at this point in his career, is playing like a top 2 point guard. I expect John Morant to at least have 2 MVPs and 1 championship. I do expect this Memphis Grizzlies team. They're sitting at a 3 seed right now. They're a young team.
Yeah.
Fighting for a 3 seed right now.
Yeah. And John Morant is the most entertaining player in the league.
Yes.
There's no player I would rather watch than John Morant.
And the thing is, too, is I know Memphis is not a desirable spot. But it's also the aspect of that it's John Morant that you're playing for.
Yeah.
That would make him a lot more desirable to play with.
Completely understand.
You know. Like I know DeRozan went to Chicago, and I know the Bulls have a rich history, but it's also Chicago's not like a destination. I guarantee you, if he really was looking for a destination, he would have went to LA, or Miami, or San Francisco. You know what I mean? So but it's bringing a team together, right? If he feels like players feel like the situation is good to play with a guy like John Morant, where they can compete for a championship, I see that happening. I do. Now, do I think he's going to stay with Memphis his whole career? I don't think so. I also don't think that. I do think probably by the later end of his career. I don't expect him to stay with Memphis forever.
You think he's going to be like a Paul George?
No, not that far. PG has moved around a lot more than even I expected him to. I expect him probably one more other team when he's older in his career. But looking at John Morant I predict John Morant to have a great career.
Oh yeah.
Barring any injuries, this guy has a future.
Yeah.
I imagine there's going to be a slate of years where he's named the unanimous best player in the league.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
I can definitely see that happening because he brings it all.
His shot's just going to get better and better.
Yes, and with the athleticism he has, it makes him a great defender too because when he brings out that effort.
Yeah.
So that. Speaking of, I mentioned Paul George.
Yeah, we just talked about Paul George, man. There's been a lot of news going around. It's rumors right now, but it looks like it's pretty likely that Paul George is going to have a huge injury that's going to affect the Clippers.
It will take him out for the argument is that he might be out for the rest of the season, and it's looking like a possibility.
And Kawhi is already out for the rest of the season.
Not for the rest of the season, but for the last.
He's gonna come like at the end.
At the very end.
So
if the Clippers are even still in the playoff spot, by the way.
If the Clippers aren't at a good spot, there's no point in him coming back. So it's a chance that if Paul George stays out, he might not come back, and Kawhi Leonard might also come back. So, if you're the Clippers GM, and this is all true, it goes down, what are you going to do with the organization?
I'm not going to panic.
No panic.
I'm not going to panic. The reason why is there's two reasons. One, you have Kawhi Leonard now extended to a longer-term deal. Mm-hmm. Two, you have Paul George extended to a longer-term deal. Those are your two main marquee players right there. Mm-hmm. You're also still in LA. You're going to get a new arena. You're probably going to still pull attraction from other players to come play with those two. Yep. You still have Reggie Jackson. Mm-hmm. You still have Terrence Mann. Mm-hmm. You still have a couple other guys. It's not even for surely known if Paul George is going to be fully out for the rest of the year. If he comes back at around the same time as Kawhi Leonard, if the Clippers are in contention still,
they can make a push.
Then they can make a real push. Right now they're still sitting even with a higher record than the Lakers, and they have done that without Paul George. I wouldn't panic. Don't panic. You still have two great players. Even if this season doesn't turn out the way you do, you know that there's a future because you still have these guys. And you have young players to tag along with them that will only get better. And they will be mentored by these two.
What I was thinking is, in this situation, I completely agree with you. I would not panic at all. Yes, you can trade away Paul George. Maybe get 2 good first round picks. Maybe 1 first round pick. Do great with that. But I think if you're going to have a bad season, have this bad season like the Warriors did. Warriors had a bad season.
They knew they were injury riddled, and
then they got the first round pick that was really high, and were able to get.
Well, remember the Clippers pretty much traded away all their first round picks all the way up until damn near the end of the end of the 2020s, because of Paul George.
I did forget about that.
You remember they traded a haul for him.
They're like the Rams.
They traded a haul. They got rid of all the first round picks.
So what I'm thinking
free agency.
Free agency is gonna have to come in huge if all of this happens. I think you gotta hold on to your players. Reggie Jackson, I don't think he's good enough. I need to upgrade. Either I need to upgrade at the center position, or I need to upgrade at that point guard.
Reggie Jackson's good for the price that he's at right now.
For the price.
What I would look at is
for a championship though.
I would look for a center. I would look for more of a big time center.
Zubac
is a little too inconsistent.
He's not going to do it.
If you get one more center, you bring that more of that height and power to the team.
Yeah.
And the thing is, again, just you have these two guys committed to your team for still a long time. You know, build around them. If you just get good supporting cast role players, I guarantee you, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George will make it work with those two.
I miss watching Kawhi Leonard.
I do. Kawhi Leonard is so fun to watch, and I can't wait to see him when he comes back, whenever he does.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Speaking of comebacks, though.
I was about to say, you just transitioned so well into that.
Speaking of comebacks,
we have to talk about it.
Mr. Splash, man.
I'm
making splash, man.
It was Klay Day.
Klay Day, man.
It was Klay Day on Sunday. Klay Thompson returned. How would you rate it? Klay Thompson, first time back in 2 years since he tore his ACL in the NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors, which felt like forever. Last time Klay Thompson was a Warrior.
That's in the finals.
Paul George was a Thunder.
That's crazy.
COVID-19 wasn't a thing.
That's so long ago, man.
Kawhi Leonard just won a championship LeBron James hasn't even moved to LA yet against the Lakers. Klay Thompson comes back to a league that has completely changed. And how did he look in that game back?
I just got to say this off for him. I love the energy that the Warriors bring. They really had a standing ovation for him. And Klay Thompson, he looked the same. I didn't see no more weight. I didn't see everything looked the same as what I thought. But the biggest thing that I think he brought to this Warriors team, and I've seen it in a couple clips, that winning mentality, that winning culture, the making sure that other players step up when they need to. Steph Curry missed 2 air balls. He's yelling at Steph. Who else has the capability to do that?
And accountability.
Draymond's the only person that was doing that. But now you got another dude who's won 3 championships. So he can talk to these players and elevate them. The bad things that I'll say about Klay is he looked very slow to me. His speed-wise, I was like, oh, damn.
That is so funny, because I completely disagree.
You disagree. There were some moments I was looking and I was like, ooh.
I was more concerned with Klay shooting. But I expected that, because I expected the first game jitters, and there's a bit of new energy when you're just shooting around in practice for the past 2 years and coming back to an NBA game. What I like is Klay had a lot of athletic plays.
Oh no, but
where he posterized a player.
The jumping ability is still there.
He's got the hops, and I don't think Klay Thompson's always been a super fast guy. If we're gonna be quite honest, he is a spot-up shooter built.
Yeah.
But what I saw is that Klay wasn't even afraid to go aggressive to the hoop.
Yeah, that play right there.
To go with some posters, to go up with a layup, and he scored 17 points in his first game. That's solid. That's solid on a first game back. You know what I mean?
I could see him having a 40-point game this year.
When he gets back in rhythm. And I know he had 14 points the next game, but it was 5 of 13 shooting, which isn't bad. It's going to take some time for him to get in rhythm, but what I liked is that he looked healthy.
Yeah.
That was my main concern, is how much of the old Klay was there still going to be. I think it's just rust. Once that rust starts to finally wear off, I think Klay is going to be back, and I think he's going to be back pretty much almost the exact same way we expected.
I definitely just kind of forgot about the type of player that he was. Like, it was just like, oh, I forgot. He's a weird player.
He's a unique player in the way that he scored 60 points on, 9 dribbles?
9 dribbles.
Like, that's such a weird stat.
He doesn't dribble the ball. You're not going to see him handles. You're not going to see that. That's not a thing.
That's got to be one of the weirdest stats.
You're never going to see him break a defender. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Posterizers, I thought that was a rare thing. Klay.
He never did that even when he was...
And he did it in his first game.
No, see, so that's what makes me a little excited about it. And
I thought that he looked slow. But.
Yeah, and I can agree to the fact of what you're saying, because Klay Thompson is probably slower than he was before, even though he wasn't that fast to begin with anyways.
Yeah.
But now he's even a little more slow. But what I did like is I saw the athleticism, and I saw fearlessness. It really shows how confident you are playing, truly shows how healthy you are, you know?
Yeah.
If Klay Thompson was not going to be willing to drive in or be aggressive like that, it was going to make me a little scared, like, okay, maybe he's not 100% yet. He looked healthy.
He had the confidence to go up.
He had confidence. He was throwing up shots. He wanted to just get in rhythm. This can be scary. This can be scary for a lot of teams if Klay Thompson comes back like this and he fully gets back to that next level. Then you have a big 3 again in Golden State.
When is James Wiseman? Did he play?
No, James Wiseman will be coming back soon now too. Either late this month or in February.
Yeah, so James Wiseman is the last piece of this Warriors team.
Adding some height.
And he has a huge piece because he's 7'1".
Mm-hmm.
There's like a lot of players, right? You look in, it's like, oh, it's a center. Centers nowadays are around 6'10", 6'11" maybe.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of 7-footers in the league.
Nope.
So 7'1",
yeah,
this is a big difference.
Big difference.
So
and you add a lot more to that defense. That's already a solid Warriors defense.
Yeah, the Warriors are definitely going to be scary. I don't even think Klay Thompson was the biggest addition to this team.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. And then you're already adding it to a Warriors team that only had 10 losses going into the game. You know what I mean? Watch out for the Warriors, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it. Strength in numbers. It's all back. We're going with the bench, and we have the core starting 3 again. It feels good.
Nah, I don't feel good right now with my Lakers, but
Yeah, we'll actually talk about Westbrook probably next week.
yeah.
But let's just say it's interesting what's going down there in LA. And that will conclude this episode of Heavily Contested. I want to thank you guys for staying with us. Oh,
Bro.
I'm getting sick and tired
I'm getting
of you.
pissed off.
What is wrong with you?
They didn't like the video. You didn't subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video right now before I pull up to your crib, man.
And how about the other videos that you probably just watched?
Yeah, you just watched the other videos too. He's like, oh, now they're about to click off and go watch the other videos and go like them. It's too late, man. It's too late, man.
You know what?
Make it a habit.
Yeah.
Let's do it while you're watching the video and click it, okay? Thank you. I appreciate you for watching. This is my co-host Alejandro Flores.
This is Nino the Niner.
Nino the Niner. And we'll see you guys next time. Deuces.